They're all good.
Bang you go, roll up something to take along. It feels so good, it must be wrong. We're freaking at the freaking ball. With all the bags and the dykes.
And we're live from Taste of Tops in Tempe. This is George Lindblom with Ken Morrison, the Beer Czar. How you doing tonight, Ken?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. And we've got our special guest here, Floyd Lavallee from FreakN Brewing.
Hi, George.
Hey, Floyd. So let's get right into it. Floyd, FreakN Brewing is up in the northwest side, 101 and Olive, correct?
That's correct, in Peoria.
In Peoria, okay. And for those people out there, it might be a little bit confusing because you just announced a grand opening, but you've been open for 4 months. So explain that to us.
Yeah, we've had, we call them soft openings, of course. We're only open on Friday, Saturday, and Sundays. And we did a golf tournament with the Chamber of Commerce, Peoria Chamber of Commerce, and sponsored a hole. So they wanted to do a ribbon cutting with us, with the mayor there and everything. Mm-hmm. So we decided to kind of have a big event, grand opening, and we did that last Saturday.
Okay, great. Now, but you have been open for 4 months prior to that.
Correct.
Okay. And what is your setup? Are you a tasting room / brewery? Is that what the setup is right now?
Correct, yeah. We're a microbrewery, 20-barrel system, and we have a small tasting room up front. We do taster flights, pints, growlers to go. Eventually, we plan on doing kegs. But that'll be down the road.
Now, 20 barrels is a pretty good size system.
That's a pretty good size system.
Yeah.
It is.
So you have a lot of room to grow, and
we do.
And you've been brewing. You were telling me under capacity.
Correct. Yeah. Right now we're doing 7 and 10 barrels.
Okay. But at a 20-barrel system, what's your fermenter capacity look like?
We have 110 barrels worth of fermentation that we have. So we have one 60-barrel fermenter. That we plan on our flagship beer probably going in that first. And then right now, like I said, we're doing 7 and 10 barrel batches. The biggest batch we've done was 14 barrels, and we split it between 2 7s. Kind of make 2 different beers out of that.
So you have the ability to really increase your footprint quite a bit with the system that you have.
We do, yeah. We have 22-foot ceilings, so we have plenty of room to go up. Mm-hmm. Not much to go outwards, but we do have plenty of room to go up and get bigger fermenters. Our original plan was to have 4 60 barrels, which I'm kind of glad we didn't start with that. So we little change of plans halfway through and ended up getting 2 10s and 3 7s.
Well, you were saying the original plan was to go with like a 7-barrel system before
Correct.
You went with the 20, right?
Right, yeah. We were planning to do 7, and then kind of started looking at the trend of breweries, and everybody seems to be expanding within a year or 2.
Right.
So we decided kind of simple economics. We'll kind of go bigger now. We can still do the smaller batches, but we won't have to change out our equipment, shut down, which some of the breweries have to do.
Right.
So this way we can keep on going and keep on brewing. So.
Awesome.
How many different beers you brewing right now? I know we'll be talking about the 3.
Well, we've brewed 8 beers so far.
Okay.
Within that, we've made a couple different things. We've added a mole to our brown, which kind of made another beer. We've done a habanero chipotle in our IPA, so there's another one. So we're kind of trying to add up. We even did a fruit cocktail with our cream ale, adding a peach mango V8 fusion juice with it. So we're just kind of trying to add a little bit there, to keep it going.
Getting creative there. Huh?
Yeah, and you mentioned your flagship beer. What is your flagship?
Brown ale.
Your brown ale.
It's American brown.
Excellent.
Right, and we'll get into that here, I think, after the break, because we're tasting them, we're drinking them right now, and they're really good. But let's talk about how this thing, the whole thing, got started for you.
Okay.
Did you grow up in a family of brewers and learn it from Dad, or
no,
how did it work for you?
Nothing like that. I started brewing about 10, 11 years ago, home brewing, with my brother-in-law, Doug Windling, and he was in the Navy, was brewing, and kind of, enjoyed watching him do it with his buddies. Came out to Arizona, and we started, brewing together. My dad retired. I was looking for something to invest in, and so a winery type thing was kind of getting started with my other brother, Tommy, and my dad wasn't really interested in doing that, but So we threw out the brewery thing, thinking there's no way he'll bite on it, but he did. And so we kind of started brainstorming, came up with the name FreakN. Instead of using the effing word, we kind of threw the
Right.
freaking word out there.
Right.
Came with the name, that kind of stuck. And
Cool logo, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, very.
I really like
I
that.
like it a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And kind of just
Does this little guy have a name?
no.
That'd be a good idea to like have a contest to have a name for him,
I will.
and then name the beer after his,
That sounds good. Yeah.
like effing McFreakin or something like that.
Scotch ale.
Yeah. So, so it's a family affair.
It's a family affair, yes. Pretty much the three brothers and my dad, their spouses. My one brother's not married, has a girlfriend, Renee. She kind of does all our backroom stuff, accounting, purchasing, tasting room manager. They live in Florida. We do have one employee that's not part of the family. It's our server, Megan. And she's also been hired to become our yeast wrangler. So
Okay. She has some kind of a background in that, right?
she has a bachelor's in chemistry and mathematics, and really loves craft beer. Very interested in beer yeast.
Sorry you couldn't make it out tonight, Megan, but we're thinking about you. So, what is the where are you at now? What's the plan for the immediate future?
Right now, like I said, we've only been open 4 months. We're kind of still in phase one. Right now, we use all pre-milled grain. We kind of order a couple days before we brew, so we don't have to store it. We're trying to start distribution. We're out in about 5 or 6 places right now in the valley, and just kind of getting started here. So the second phase is kind of to get our own mill, start milling our own grain, setting up the yeast lab, and getting the sales force together, and just start building from there.
So you're taking a methodical approach at this, kind of taking it in steps.
Right, that's correct.
And how do you feel that you've progressed thus far, as far as what you had planned?
I think we're doing good. We've had a couple setbacks. Like I told you before the show, we had a team of brewers when we first started, but because of jobs and everything, some people got moved out of state. So we've kind of dwindled down to now me. And of course, you get lots of people that want to assist, of course, and so I haven't had to brew in a while, probably the last 4 or 5 weeks, because we have 3 beers ready right now, just a little short on kegs, so starting to look at buying some more kegs, try to find some used kegs if anybody's out there that wants to have some used kegs.
So for our listeners out there, what positions are available at your brewery?
Right now we're looking for a delivery person. We bought a van to self-distribute. So we're looking for a delivery person, a salesperson. The delivery person could be both, but it doesn't have to be. And then a brewer's assistant, or even a lead brewer.
So there's opportunity out there.
There's definitely opportunities.
Yeah, we'll have to make sure that people know that and watch the show,
Very cool.
find that out.
You and you're saying distribution. I'm assuming right now you're just at like restaurants, kegs, and
Correct.
You're not bottling or anything right now.
No, that's kind of down the road. We've definitely
further down
been
the road?
right bottling or canning. We haven't decided yet, but maybe a year or so down the road.
Where can I go to get your stuff right now?
Right now we're at 9299 West Olive,
Okay.
which is located just west of the 101 off of Olive in the
And you're-
Olive Business Park.
You're in different beer bars around the area.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
a lot of out here in Tempe and Mesa, Boulders on Broadway, World of Beers.
Yeah, go ahead and name
Brass
them off.
Tap.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Brass
drop.
Tap, Boulders on Broadway, World of Beers, Mother Bunch Brewing,
Oh, good.
Angel's Trumpet, and Flanny's has us on rotation right now. And then on the west side, we're just on one place called Kimmy's, and just kind of now that we've had the grand opening, we're trying to really get out there and hit it.
Hopefully get you out of ground control soon.
Ground control.
Ian, if you're listening.
Yeah, we were at Caballeros,
Right.
which 2 years we were with them. We even gave them some of our R&D stuff.
Yeah,
to put in a
that
barrel
sucks
age.
that they had to close their
Yeah,
doors.
a week and a half after they put our beer on, and then there's another place in Surprise, Kegs, Corks, and Forks, and they shut down after a few months.
That's too bad.
But we're just going to get out there and start hitting it.
Awesome. All right, well, we're going to take it to break now, and we'll be right back with Drinkin' AZ.
Hey, this is Dunk from the Dunk Tank. Did you know Tops Liquor has over 2,000 wines in stock from all over the world and over 2,000 spirits? There's huge selections of rum, tequila, scotch, vodka, you name it, they got it. And did I mention beer? Over 2,000 varieties of craft beer from Arizona and all over the world. So come next door to the Taste of Tops, where you can always find at least 25 very special beers on tap and hundreds of beers by the bottle. Come on down to Tops, and you'll never want to leave. That is, until your wife tells you to come home.
And we're back with Drinking AZ. Finding caps under the table here.
Runaway cap.
Cap diving. So now we're back, and we're going to talk about the beer that you brought for us to partake in. We got 3 of them here, and take your time talking about them.
Okay.
Which one of these is your favorite of the 3?
Well, of course, I like them all. I'm,
Right.
kind of partial to all,
Like
all
your
the
children,
beers that I
right?
brew.
Yeah.
Exactly. But our brown is our flagship beer.
Okay. Who came up with that?
Well, it's actually one of our brewers that's not brewing with us, Jason. That was kind of supposed to start with us, and then he had to take another job in St. Louis. It's kind of his recipe. Of course, we tweaked it a little bit, and then it's called the Brown Noser. It's a low ABV, about 4.2%. Pretty much got some chocolate, some roasted barley in there. It's been a big hit. That's pretty much the ones that are all out at the bars that I mentioned.
Right. Okay. And it's very drinkable, very very solid beer.
It's incredibly
Yeah.
drinkable. Yeah, and
Thank you.
it's got that kind of, I don't say like you say, like a burnt malty, chocolatey that I'm feeling
Yeah.
in my mouth now as I'm like not as I'm drinking it, but like it's just kind of sticking around. Exactly. Cocoa. Yeah, it's got that kind of that bitter, burnt kind of, not in a bad way, but it's
Yeah.
Just
I
single
really
hop,
like it.
Just single hop, Magnum hop in it. That's it.
Yeah, Magnum. Okay.
And then,
Excellent.
Then we've got our raspberry wheat. Just came out. A lot of the ladies have been asking for that in the
Right.
tasting room.
Duncan. Oh, by the way, Duncan's not here.
get well.
He had a yeast infection. No, just kidding. He's Ebola.
Yeah, he's quarantined out. In
You know
West
what,
Alley.
Duncan? Okay, he's got a cold or a flu or something like that. Well, today's Thursday. Duncan texts me on Monday. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it to the show. Dude, I'm serious. I'm like, dude, it's Monday. You don't know if you're going to be well or sick on Thursday. I think Duncan takes a while to get over his sicknesses. So, Duncan, if you're listening, buddy,
Get well soon.
get well soon.
Cheers to you.
And yeah, he would like this raspberry wheat.
I'm
And
not.
I like it.
I'm admittedly not a fan of fruit beer generally, but that's one I could definitely see myself kind of hanging by the pool. It's a good summer beer, I think.
Yeah.
For-
It's got a little bit of backbone to it for a Hefeweizen.
yeah.
Most Hefeweizens to me taste like dirty dishwater.
A little weak.
Yeah, they're weak and it's just like, the flavor just doesn't come through. But this has got a little more of a maltiness to
Yep.
it, and
And I-
the raspberry.
And I
is
think the raspberries, like
real.
I said, the Hefeweizen, it's not, the raspberries really aren't competing with anything else. There's
Right.
not a lot of strong hop flavor or anything like. So I think it's just I think it's a very easy drinking beer. It's not you don't have any flavor battles going on or anything.
Right.
It's very smooth and very drinkable.
Yeah,
and,
we tried to make the raspberry kind of subtle. We
Yeah.
didn't want it to be overpowering. I mean, that was our first time kind of playing with fruit. We did a puree
Yep.
in it, and so we were kind of, weren't sure exactly how much to add, but it seemed to work. So
Yeah, it's not an overpowering. You definitely it's obvious raspberry
Yeah.
to me, but it's not an overpowering like.
I would say it's not very subtle, but it's
Yeah.
good.
It is.
It's right where it needs to be.
Yep. I agree. I think it's. I don't like those like beers that you like a raspberry beer you pour and it's like purple.
right.
And then you just drink it's like cough syrup or something. And this is really good. It's a
And
good
on the
balance.
other
It's a
side,
good balance.
I hate it when you're straining to find the fruit.
it. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
you want to
And that's
taste
what we
it.
were
but-
worried about, of course.
Yeah.
yeah. You want to taste it, but you don't want it to punch you in the face.
Right.
Okay, so that's the And what's the name of that?
That is called the Razzmatazz Berry.
Razzmatazz.
Razzmatazz Berry.
Is that a Nazareth
Okay.
song?
I think
Is
it
it?
is.
I think it is. Yeah.
And then we have the brown noser imperial. No,
No,
this
that's
is
the
the brown.
brown.
This is the brown noser.
Right.
Brown noser, brown ale,
Right.
razzmatazz, raspberry,
Yep.
and then
And then we have the Imperial Red.
the imperial red. What's that called?
We haven't named it yet.
Okay,
So-
just imperial red.
Right. Yeah, we were
Okay.
kind of starting to go with something towards the Cardinals.
Big red, maybe.
Big
Oh,
Red,
there you
something
go.
like that. We're right down the road from the Cardinal Stadium.
Right.
You're practically in the shadow of the.
Pretty
yeah, I was
much,
gonna
yeah.
say.
We're gonna have the Super Bowl, the BCS Bowl, Fiesta Bowl. You know,
The One Direction concert.
no wonder.
I was just out there for.
Oh, you're killing me.
One Direction.
Went for
I brought my
Freakers Ball.
13-year-old.
My eight-year-old went to Katy Perry.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I was at One Direction in 5 Seconds of Summer last
I let
week.
her mom take her. I didn't get to see Katy Perry.
That's too bad.
Yeah. So anyway, back to the beer here. This is
Call it One Direction, Katy Perry, Imperial Red.
One Direction Imperial Red.
Is there any more of that red? I'm out.
There is. Yeah. Where do we have it at? Oh, right here, right?
And that's got some cojones to it.
Yeah, it's what, 8.5, you said?
Yeah, that's 8.5%. It's kind of been aged. We don't have any bright tanks right now,
Uh-huh.
so all we have is the fermenters. So I've been pretty much just letting it age in the fermenter.
Okay.
I think we brewed it. I want to say we brewed that back in July, mid-July or something like that. So we just kegged a few kegs up for our grand opening. We wanted to have something else.
Okay.
And then it's been a good hit with everybody
So
out there.
it sounds like your brewery is that you're taking your time getting it to where you want it to be, and you haven't hit really 100% functionality of what you're looking for.
Yeah, not even close. We haven't really spent any money on marketing.
Uh-huh.
We've done just kind of went out to beer festivals when we were building out to kind of promote ourselves, social media,
Uh-huh.
word of mouth, T-shirts,
Right.
that kind of thing, and just that's pretty much all we've done. We've not spent really any money, too much money on marketing at all.
Okay.
Doing shows like this, been on a couple radio shows,
Cool.
magazines, that type of thing, newspapers, and so getting a lot of feedback. The grand opening, I think, was a big hit.
And do you feel like you've built a following?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think we have right now about 1,800 likes, a little over 1,800 likes on Facebook,
Uh-huh.
and at the tasting room, we just we got a lot of fans to get the reviews.
I was going to say you got good traffic in your tasting room on the week.
yeah,
You're
it's kinda-
only open on the weekends, you
right,
said? Yeah.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's kind of hit and miss.
Yeah.
Of course, it started out strong. Football season being here, we're getting some TVs put up.
That was my next question. If
Yeah.
any TVs in
Yeah,
there?
we don't have any yet. We have a monitor right now that we use as a PowerPoint kind of the construction and stuff like that. But hopefully by next weekend we'll have a couple TVs up to have some football games
Okay.
going.
Very cool.
So and you have a day job.
I do.
Did we cover that already?
No.
Not yet.
Okay. So you have a day job in steel manufacturing,
Correct.
and everybody else who's concerned with the business has day jobs as well.
Everybody but my father, yes.
Okay. So and he's retired, right?
Correct.
So you guys are just kind of putting in the time into it as need be.
Correct.
But at some point, are you going to flip the switch and do this full time
I sure hope so. Yeah,
Is that the plan?
That's the plan.
for you personally?
Personally, yes.
Yeah?
And
Okay.
same with my brothers.
Okay.
So I have the other brother that's in the Navy Reserve, and he's coming back from Gitmo here in a few weeks. And
Awesome.
so we'll see what happens.
What's his
there.
name?
Doug Winley.
Doug
Winley.
Winley.
Uh-huh.
So shout out to Doug Winley and over at Gitmo. That
Gitmo.
can't be fun.
Yeah.
I thought they shut that down.
No.
Yeah. That was a campaign promise, wasn't it?
Well, right when he got there, that's when they let the 5 prisoners go. So we
Oh,
blame
yeah.
it on him. So.
Ah,
His
okay.
fault. Doug's fault.
All right. So we're going to take it to break, and we'll be right back with Floyd from FreakN Brewing.
Phoenix Brewing Supply is an online retailer based in the Phoenix metro area. This online shop is geared up to give the home brewer competitive prices on a wide selection of all of your homebrew needs. Phoenix Brewing Supply provides quick access to a variety of hops, yeast, additives, and adjuncts. Spital fermenters, 5-star chemicals, chillers, draft equipment, plumbing, and hardware are all products you can find at the click of a button. When you can get most orders shipped within 1 business day, why go anywhere else? Log on to phoenixbrewingsupply.com today and receive 10% off of your first order when you register online. Phoenix Brewing Supply. What are you brewing today?
And we're back at Taste the Tops. All right. Well, Floyd, thanks for coming out and visiting with us. And was there anything else you want to add, or any way that people out there who are interested in your brewery can get a hold of you so they can come out and buy some beer?
Sure, if you don't mind, I'll put the hours out there.
Go ahead,
right
yeah.
now on our website.
Yeah.
Our website's www.freakinbrewingcompany.com.
FreakN?
No, I'm sorry, freakinbrew.com.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you can like us on Facebook from there. We post our hours. If they do change, will be posted on the website and the Facebook. We have food trucks. We try to have food trucks there every weekend. Doesn't always happen. This weekend we happen to have a couple food trucks Friday and Saturday. Our hours on Friday are 2 to 8. 3 to 8 on Friday, 2 to 8 on Saturday, and 2 to 6 on Sunday. We're hoping to extend to probably a couple hours longer on those days, and maybe on a Thursday, too, for Thursday night football.
Okay.
So,
Awesome.
I appreciate you having me on, George.
Oh, yeah, and by all means, stay put. Stay put,
Definitely.
man. We're going to talk about pumpkin beer,
Pumpkin beer.
Nice.
the controversial subject.
The much maligned pumpkin beer.
Yes. First of all, what the hell is the problem with people liking pumpkin beer to akin to, I don't know, child abuse? Like, it's like the cool.
Yeah.
Right. The cool thing right now with the hipsters
is to hate pumpkin.
is to
beer.
hate pumpkin.
And I'm unashamedly a huge fan of. I love pumpkin beer. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes out in mid-August now, and you hear everyone bitching on Facebook, like, it's too early for pumpkin beer. Yeah, I drink pumpkin year round if they produced it year round.
Right.
I love it. I think it's a unique flavor, and I think it blends well with beer. So I have absolutely no problem with pumpkin beer.
I think, to me, when the pumpkin beer comes, it means that the hot weather is coming to an end.
Absolutely.
Eventually. It might be a month down the road, but it's within sight. And that means that the cool weather's going to come, which means Halloween's going to come, and then Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Uh-huh.
So it has this whole connotation to it about holidays for me. Maybe that's why people hate it.
Yeah,
They're haters.
they're haters.
Holiday haters. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know.
Maybe.
But where I come from, people don't look forward to winter like we do. So maybe that's it. That's just a sign of the end is near, sort of thing. I don't know.
And
screw that.
I don't know. I wouldn't say I love pumpkin beer, but I think it's a fun novelty. And we have Goza, and we have sours, and we have oak aged, and all these different wood aged beers and everything that everybody else who may or may not like those, they all have to endure all those specialty beers that come out. So why can't people just have some room for pumpkin beer?
Yeah, I mean, it's 3 months out of the year.
Pumpkin beer to me is like eggnog. It only shows up a little bit during the year, and it brings it in. So saying that,
I agree.
Saying that, they have a good selection of pumpkin beer here at Taste the Tops.
Yeah, they do.
And we had a flight, which we had a 6 quote unquote beer flight. One of them was a cider.
Yeah.
So we just kind of pushed that aside.
Mine's still sitting over there, practically full.
Yeah. Because the cider is just an apple cider with pumpkin spice in it.
Yeah.
Is really all it was. But what did you? We took the 5 beers that we had and we scored them out and put them in order.
You want to go best to worst or worst to best?
Let's go worst to best.
Okay, number 5.
Yeah. What did you have for your worst?
My worst was the How sound.
Okay.
To me, that was I think you described what the other one is lifeless.
Uh-huh.
That to me, that one was lifeless.
Lifeless. Okay.
It was a beer. I hardly had any. I couldn't hardly detect any pumpkin at all, and it was just and to me, it was like a mediocre beer at best.
Right.
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't.
And I had to do a blind taste. What I did was I put everything in a line, and everything I liked, I moved forward. Everything I didn't like, I moved back. I kept moving forward and moving back until the one that was furthest away from me was the winner, and so forth. And the Dogfish Head, to me, was the absolute lifeless.
Mm-hmm.
It was between the Dogfish Head and the Nebraska Pumpkin Ale.
To me, the Nebraska was number 4.
And that's what I put it at, was 4.
And I think, again, that one to me was, I won't say equally as lifeless, but it was almost as lifeless.
Yeah.
Just to me, it wasn't a.
It didn't have anything to tell me it was
exciting.
pumpkin, or it didn't have any fall qualities to it whatsoever.
To me, it was a mediocre summer beer, kind of.
Yeah.
To me, that's what it tasted like.
Yeah.
Like I said, it wasn't a bad beer. It didn't taste bad, but for what I was looking for, what we were doing this tasting for, it was just sort of it's a beer.
Yeah.
It's like a throw-in when you do trades and stuff like that. It just sort of it's all right.
I think if you're gonna do a pumpkin beer, I mean, we all know. Here's the thing with homebrewers, and maybe that's kind of the crowd we run with a little bit. Is homebrewers know that pumpkin doesn't really in itself add a whole lot to a beer. Things like acorn squash and yams actually add more pumpkin flavor, perceived quote-unquote pumpkin flavor than pumpkin does. It's the spice profile that does it.
Exactly. That's what I said. That's what I like about pumpkin beer the most, is that kind of cinnamon, nutmeg, kind of allspice kind of flavors. I think that's what I like more than the actual pumpkin flavor.
So I had House Hound at 3, and what did you have at 3?
At 3, I had Dogfish Head.
Dogfish Head. So we just flipped those two.
And honestly, I would say those last 3 really, I could have probably put them in any order.
I agree.
To me, they were good, decent beers, but kind of listless and kind of lifeless when it comes to the pumpkin.
I agree. Okay, so we have the heavyweights.
Number
1 and number 2.
Yeah, and I think we actually, our number 1 and 2 were switched.
Yep.
I had the Wasatch Pumpkin as my number 2.
And I had it for my number 1.
Yeah. And I do agree with you. It's the most, if you're looking for pumpkin flavor, it's probably the beer to buy.
Pumpkin pie flavor.
It is. It's pumpkin pie. It's not a natural pumpkin flavor, but it's kind of a sweet pumpkin flavor. Absolutely.
Yeah. To me, it was the pumpkin pie flavor. It's got enough body to it to pull that off as well. The other ones were I think the House Sound had a little bit of pumpkin pie flavor going on too, but it was thin.
Very.
Whereas the Wasatch had a little bit more body to it.
Yeah, there was no doubt when you took a sip of that what it's supposed to be.
Right, and
like
then
we were talking about your raspberry. It's you don't have to search out what flavor it's supposed to be. It's very obviously a pumpkin. It's very obviously a pumpkin beer.
Right, and then so you had and I think Four Peaks Pumpkin Porter is delicious.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong; it just came in number 2.
And like I said, I think to me porters are one of my favorite styles, so maybe that's why I had it number 1. But to me, it was the most enjoyable of them.
Pour that shit over some chocolate ice cream.
Oh my god! I know.
I've had that. It's amazing.
I got a growler of it for Thanksgiving last year. Actually,
yeah,
it was delicious. The whole family enjoyed it, and it's one of those seasonal beers, and they're probably one of the one that I anticipate probably the most, but. Maybe I don't know. Mr. Pineapple's right up there too. But
it's and it's from Arizona.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great Arizona beer, seasonal beer.
Yeah, so I think it's something for us to be proud of, definitely.
And you can get it in grocery stores this year, as opposed to having to go to the brewery and get it.
And are they
cans.
charging an arm and a leg for it? Like they were
no,
last year?
I was surprised. It was I think it's $12 a 6-pack. It wasn't unreasonable.
Well, don't they come in 4-packs?
No, it's a 6-pack this year.
Wasn't it a 4-pack last year?
It might have been. I don't know. I just got a growler last year. I never got it in cans.
Okay, I think maybe I'm wrong then. Maybe
yeah.
I just remember it being really expensive last year.
Yeah, it was. I think it's cheaper because it's in grocery stores, so it's actually probably going to be cheaper than you could buy it than at the actual brewery. But I think it was about $12 a 6-pack this year.
Okay.
So it wasn't. I mean, it's not a cheap beer, but it's certainly not.
Right.
It's not unreasonable at all.
Floyd, are you going to be doing any pumpkin beers? What do you think listening to us talk about this? What?
Yeah, not this year.
Uh-huh.
Kind of a little late in this, to
Yeah.
get started
Uh-huh.
on that, but definitely next year. We've been asked about that. We're going to do some up on our R&D system. Just kind of do a couple, 2 or 3, 4 kegs. But our fermenter was having a leak, so so we didn't get around to doing that.
You know what you might want to think about doing is instead of just a straight up pumpkin, doing like a fall beer with pumpkin yam, acorn squash, throwing in 3 or 4 different types of squash
Right.
to get a fuller profile.
Okay.
Hey,
Just a thought.
If you need a guinea pig,
Yeah.
I will gladly make the drive to the West Valley.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds
Absolutely.
good.
Bring it on the show. All right. So any closing thoughts on pumpkin beer?
No, actually, if you look at my my blog coming up in a couple weeks, I'm actually hosting a pumpkin tasting, and it's I do it every year, a blind tasting. I give all my guests. I think we're gonna have 6 or 7 this year, and I have them rate. They not knowing what they are, and I have them rate, what it is, and I kind of come up with my best of list for that year. It's going to be in a couple weeks, but look for that because it's.
Are you going to have any of these beers?
No, actually, one of them is
Four
on
piece?
here. No, Dogfish Head, I think is
Dogfish
is gonna-
Head.
Yeah. So I did that.
Oh, they're peaceful pumpkin.
I had
That's
that last.
really good.
I had that
Yeah.
last year. And actually, that came in second last year.
Well, who won last year?
New Belgian Brewery's Pumpkick.
Really?
Yeah. And
What about your shipyard? Did you have that in there?
Pumpkinhead?
Yeah.
That came in third, I believe.
Okay.
I think I've noticed Pumpkinhead is real popular with kind of I don't want to say non-beer folks, but the kind of the average. I think Pumpkinhead's really popular. With craft beer folks, Pumpkinhead seems to be a little less exciting.
It's
I
a
think
little light in the
it's
pants.
pretty. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I think it's a lot like Dogfish Head.
Yeah.
It's you can taste pumpkin, but it's not up in your face, and it's a drinkable beer. It's good, but it's not exciting. But I've got some really really good beers. So I'm pretty excited. So
Awesome.
yeah,
right.
Warlock is right up there too. So
And where
Southern
will,
tier.
will people be able to tell people how they can get on your blog and check it out?
at thebeerzar.blogspot.com, or just look up the Beer Czar on Facebook. I've been more active on Facebook really than online.
Okay.
So. But either way, you can get me either way. Or I'm also on Instagram, Twitter, even on Pinterest now. So
Cool.
just look up the Beer Czar. I'm everywhere.
All right. Well, hey, Floyd, once again, thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
George.
And Czar, thanks for co-hosting with us tonight.
Always a pleasure.
All right. And for our technical director, Adam Wallace, this is George Lindblom with Drinking AZ. Everybody be safe, and we'll catch you next time.